There it is. Now we got it.
Good evening.
So we're doing Doctor Who first. So hello there, welcome. We are Geeks Assembled and we have gathered here today. And we're going to talk about Doctor Who, the episode which aired this Saturday, which is World Enough and Time. Let's jump straight into it. Let's go to Brian first, actually. Go ahead, Brian. You're unmuted. You've landed yourself in it now.
Why me?
Because you're a Cyberman.
Because we love you, Brian.
I'm a Dacian Simon, and I'm not a Cyberman.
What's your opening thoughts on this episode, Brian?
If anything, I'll be Johnson's master. Well, what I thought of this episode is really, 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 really good. I absolutely love this episode. This episode was absolutely the shit. And I absolutely, every minute within this episode, the story was good. The absolutely characters, everything in it was good. I absolutely loved it. From start to finish, I absolutely love. General fact standpoint, within the beginning of the episode, it shows the Doctor coming out of the TARDIS and bum 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 gonna regenerate. Now that when I saw that, it was when I saw that, it was like confused because what we know, all of us, that he's going to be leaving, and that confused me because I saw the preview for next week, and it looks like his regeneration energy is going to be coming out of his hand within a scene. So it confused from that alone confused me. But then after the main title credits, it goes on within the episode, and I kind of like how it was a kind of interesting way how they went back and forth, like flashback to the present day of like how before they went on to the eventual, like, to see how Missy would do, like if she was within the Doctor Who team and everything. Pretty much the scene that I generally love within that flashback is the conversation that the Doctor and Bill are having on a rooftop, discussing, like the Doctor saying and discussing like the Doctor and Missy's childhood from when they were growing up on Gallifrey and how they started out at the academy and how they were friends. I generally enjoyed it and liked that. And then within the conversation, Bill says to the Doctor, promised to...
Are you giving us a 45-minute review here?
Maybe. I love it so much, Lee.
This is only supposed to be a short opening thought.
All right, I'll keep it short.
Yeah, but time is different from one end of the cast to the other.
All right. But honestly, since you guys were rushing me, Russias.
Come on, wind it up now, Brian. Wind it up. Have you finished?
Okay, yeah, but I honestly did love it. It's a great episode. And my favorite master's back, Johnson.
Now, I'm sorry you hated the episode. You can't like them all, I suppose. And now, think of Brian, and then think of, say, about 40 years in the future. So what would Brian look like when he's 40 years in the future from now? So he'll be about 60. Let's head to Lee Wilson, to Hull. Go ahead, Lee.
60. Right, okay. Just you wait. Yeah, it's an eerily shot story. It's very well acted. So the main cast were just awesome in it. I love the original Cybermen designs. It's great to see them back. I have got a few niggles here and there. Yeah, it's a sort of a genesis of the Cybermen story, sort of. But what a crap disguise for the Master. You saw it straight away. But there again, we used to see that back in the day. But this big niggle is, why was he disguised in the first place? Someone please explain to me that, because there was no reason for him to be disguised. But apart from that, I enjoyed it. It was scary, and it's one of my, I would say, one of my favourites of the season, but not one of the best. So that's my opening thoughts for the moment. Moving on to our younger chap who's hosting this, Alid.
And let's go on to another young person. Let's go to Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I really love this episode. Saw it twice already, and from the beginning, the Doctor is regenerating. I did not expect to see that. So yeah, he's screaming no like Darth Vader, but yeah. The Cybermen, that it connects to the 10th planet eventually, probably. And then probably the Doctor is on the 10th planet in the first scene, and he's regenerating, maybe. But that Bill is the first Cyberman, Mondasian Cyberman. So yeah, that was quite a shocker when they said, "Oh, we're going to upgrade you. You cannot hold that unit forever." I was like, "Oh no." So yeah, that's my opening thoughts for now.
And let's go over to Germany with our very own Beef Dad for opening thoughts.
At the end of the episode, I just turned to my friend and said, "Wow." It's very, very good. I thought it was actually very well written, brilliantly acted. The TARDIS crew were superb, but it really gave Pearl Mackie a chance to shine like a beacon. She was just absolutely superb in this. Michelle Gomez, yeah, we got a little bit of mental Missy back on this episode, which is nice because I quite like mental Missy. John Sim, fortunately, didn't jump up and down and scream and laugh a lot, which was a relief to me, because I think that when he was playing the Doctor, he was far too hyper. When he was not playing the Doctor, listen to me. When he was playing the Master, he was much too hyper for me. Yeah, the backup cast were very, very good. And the Mondasian Cybermen, well, as Kevin's mentioned, they first arrived on the last series from the first Doctor, which, as she says, is the 10th planet. And I don't know, it may be something that I know that the first Doctor was Peter Capaldi's favourite, and the Mondasian Cybermen basically were the nemesis of the first Doctor, and they've given him the same nemesis by the looks of things. Yeah, very, very cleverly done. Love the idea of the black hole. Bit of a nick from Disney, but never mind. But the black hole, and I love the idea of one end of the ship, because it's close to the black hole, the time moves faster than it does at the other end of the ship. Very, very clever. Nice little conception, and I love the execution. And that's it.
I don't know what Alex and Susan are up to, but let's go to Alex and Susan. Go ahead. If you can find your mic. Where have you been putting that mic, Alex? I don't even want to know.
There's a pocket over here. Okay, got it. Gosh, let me start with this, because I'm a geezer, and I'm one of the geezer group in this cast, and yeah. So the Mondasian Cybermen were actually generated in a Fifth Doctor story called Spare Parts, and Spare Parts was done by Big Finish, and so this kind of, in a way, reset it, but in a way not, because they're not actually on Mondas. They're on a spaceship, like the black hole thing with the time dilation. It was not only discussed in a smidgen on a Disney thing, it was incredibly well presented in a number of Stargate episodes, because they all, I mean, even General O'Neill knew that the thing around it was called the accretion disk. So that was pretty interesting. And I love that he's been raising that eyebrow for a week. I mean, that was such a cool thing. Oh my gosh. And I love the fact that when he was throwing the sonic screwdriver and he caught it, that also took all that time. Fun stuff. Anyway, I can't.
Has Alex run off? Has he run off?
No, he's right here.
Oh.
I can't go into what I thought of Bill Potts as a Cyberman yet, but I'll do that later in the cast. And I know you all know where I'm going with this. So here you go, Alex.
Yeah, opening thoughts. The cast is very good.
There you go.
The cast is very good. The story sort of reminded me of Dark Water, and it's the same director and the same writer, so I was a little bit disappointed by that. I did enjoy the fact that the Doctor and Missy and Master are sort of in a weird triangle impasse. As far as Bill, unfortunately, I may not give this a very good review because it's sort of reminding me of Danny Pink, and I'm getting a little tired of Moffat constantly repeating himself and leaving big plot holes and arcs. Of course, if you saw the Twitter feed during the episode and just after the episode at around, 2:30, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, he kind of said, well, I'm almost done. I'm going to retire or semi-retire, and I'll do Dracula in a little bit. So he probably doesn't care, probably even 50% what the diehard fans want. He probably has producers and supervisors that sort of want a eclectic mix. And we'll see what happens when Chibnall takes over next year.
And let's go over to our very own Susie. Go ahead, Susie. What did you think about this episode? What are your opening thoughts?
First of all, my glasses broke, so I apologize. I need them to see you, so I don't have to see you to do this. My first thought about this episode was Doctor Who is much better if you don't know a preview. I would have preferred that I did not know that John Sims was going to be in this episode. I would have preferred that the Mondasian Cybermen weren't going to be in this episode, because the whole point of the ending was the shock of those two things. But they had been touted since the beginning of the series over and over again. So the story for me, in a way, was a letdown because I enjoy going through the story. It would have been like them talking about Alpha Centauri coming back the entire series. And then by the time we saw Alpha Centauri, we would have been like, that's it? When I first saw the episode, I was ambivalent, which I'm rarely ambivalent about anything. So
when I am not feeling one way or the other, that's a red flag to me. I did find the parallels also between Dark Water and those two parters. And I thought that this episode suffered from the same thing the first half of that one did. It spent too much time on Clara being trapped by the Cybermen and not being able to get out. I thought the story built, I mean, Pearl Mackie was fabulous in this story. Absolutely fabulous. But I just thought that the story itself could have moved along a little. You know, they can't win for losing, because when we did the Mars episode a couple weeks back, we were both like, yeah, that should have been two parts to flesh it out, and now they are fleshing this one out. We're like, it was too long. Well, I'm saying that. Anyway, that's my basic first impression, is that there's a real danger when you tell us what's happening in advance, that it does take away from the storyline. And in this case, it did. Although, in defense of their makeup place, Lee, I didn't know that was John Sim. I thought it was Simon Pegg. I was like, what is Simon Pegg doing in this episode? I was an idiot, you know, but it wasn't until he actually sat down next to Missy, and the second he sat down when she was there, then I knew. But I honestly didn't know. I was like, duh, I should have known that. So, yeah, I should have had a V8. No, that was a really horrible thing.
Susie, it was the eyes that gave it away.
Oh, well, see, his voice didn't sound like him, and he wasn't all hyper, and yeah, it was, but that also showed me how wonderful, and he's a great actor. I've always enjoyed watching him, and their makeup is phenomenal, as usual. So, you know, that was, but yeah, I'm losing my shit when I didn't know that was the Master. In the old days, on Old Who, when I watched the episode where the Master had a disguise, I always knew it was the Master. Not this time. Oh well, I'm losing my touch. And we'll move forward.
Even I knew that was the
I
Master.
think you summed it up really well, actually, Susie, because I think Susie's completely right. This episode was ruined by promotion of John Sim. I mean, we knew John Sim was coming back before the episode 1 began, really, because the newspapers had said it. And then they showed the trailer after episode 1, and they showed him at the very end of that trailer. And this episode was a build-up to three things, really. It was a build-up to the Cybermen, which we knew at the beginning of the series they were coming back. It was a build-up to the Master, which we knew who was coming back. But it was also, which made me laugh, a build-up to the reveal of Mondas. Yeah, it comes on the screen saying Mondas, and they're expecting you to go, wow, Mondas is back.
Yeah, except we knew. Yeah.
But the problem is, they showed it in the Next Time trailer the episode before. And it's like, well, you revealed that last week.
Yeah. So, they're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. So
should have watched Next Time trailer then.
Yeah, but you know, you don't let all the secrets out, do you? You know, they don't usually do that.
That's why I try not to read in-depth spoiler things for this particular show. Some shows I do read because it doesn't make a difference, but this show, it does. I don't like to know too much about what's going to happen.
Like, they also gave away Bill being a Cyberman.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that in the promotional images.
Well, no, I didn't know she was going to be a Cyberman. I didn't know that. I honestly thought the Doctor was going to get there in time. I was surprised that when the Cyberman walked in, I realized it was her, but I was surprised that it got that far. I thought that he was going to make it. But
I think it will be undone. Missy's going to become good, and she will save Bill. She will save Bill. Because she can use regeneration energy to heal her. Time Lords can call upon it any time, and she can just heal her.
But can they? But wait a minute, they can't. But they can't use regeneration energy to heal non-Time Lords. The only other time I've seen him do it is on River Song.
They probably can. I mean, you're talking about New Who.
Well, they can write whatever they want.
People could become immortal in this show.
Yeah.
You know, you get people turned into superheroes who were born as ordinary people. I mean, there's no boundaries, so anything can happen. You know, for all we know, she's going to turn into a frog or something with a unicorn.
With rainbows coming out of
with
that.
rainbows coming out.
Only if she was Scottish.
You know,
If she was, it's because she's not Scottish, she won't turn into a unicorn.
Oh!
but after
Gotta take a minute.
Yeah.
Missy, Michelle Gomez was absolutely amazing in this.
Yeah,
And
she
so
always is.
The acting in this was brilliant. I mean, I don't like John Simm's master. I don't like his master at all. He's too zany. I don't like him. But I have to say, in this, he was good. And I think he looks like if he's going to play a more Roger Delgado type master rather than his zany master. So I thought that was good.
A bit like his work in Ashes to Ash and
Yeah, he was good in that.
Life on Mars.
Yeah, he was good in that.
Sorry.
But I like the time differences between the levels. You know, the top end of the ship goes slower, the bottom end goes faster.
They've also done that in Star Trek in a couple episodes
they've done that in loads of
lots of sci-fi. It's a sci-fi staple.
Right.
But
so-
what really something that did bother me a lot that never usually does recently in Who, the music for the opening, it was overdone so much so that it annoyed me when it showed the whole the ship, which was amazing to look at. It sort of reminded me of the adulation of the Enterprise, but the music was so overdone that it drove me a little nuts. And I was like, hey, this isn't like that, you know? Come on.
I want to add something. Moffat, listen to me, Moffat, because I know you're watching. I know you watch our
yeah, he watches
But
this.
Sure he does.
Yeah, I'm sure. He runs right home to his computer and turns us on.
But Moffat,
Or the tablet.
Wait there. Think of Moffat. Think of this. Remember at the end of Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, and Darth Vader goes no, and everybody laughed at it. Moffat, it doesn't work. Don't do it. Don't copy that. That was a crap scene, and then you go and put it in Doctor Who. Going no, I just burst out into hysterical laughter when the Doctor came out the TARDIS, fell on his knees, and went no. I thought, oh my God, is this a parody or something?
Yeah.
I thought, is this a Star Wars parody with Doctor Who? This is a joke.
Well,
Seriously,
I mean,
that's so cringeworthy.
It's surprising they didn't turn Bill into a weeping angel.
I have to say as well, is that this has, again, all the same Moffat tropes. He has no new ideas. We've seen a semi-companion as a Cyberman.
Yeah, Danny Pink.
Yeah, I know.
And we've had the whole idea.
And the Brigadier.
Yeah, and we've had the
Yeah,
whole idea.
listen, it's the Cyber Brig. The Cyber Brig is a real thing. It's, I mean, he's out there saving the universe.
That's right.
No
He
matter
could be a
who it
spin-off.
is, the Cyber Brig was a valid. I mean, it does make him immortal.
Yeah, it does.
Nicholas Courtney is dead.
Right.
The immortality of the Brigadier is okay. I
Right.
don't know that it had to happen to Danny Pink, and I don't know that it had to happen to Bill Potts, but it did have to happen to Nicholas Courtney to the Brigadier because Nicholas Courtney isn't around anymore.
Right. Well,
and the beard and mustache had to come. The goatee had to come back from Ainley and Delgado to the Sim Master. So.
Well, the Doctor saying screaming no is that something has gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, well,
The whole
but
point of
again,
adding that scene.
yeah, but that's
Moffat writing that scene was terribly wrong.
yeah.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, that scene was awesome. That was the shit, right?
No, but this is the thing. They've been playing on this regeneration since the series began. Because in the first trailer we saw for this series, you see his hand lighting up. Nearly every trailer we've had has seen the Doctor. It's been hinting, showing the Doctor's regeneration. I mean, we had that fake regeneration in the Monk three-parter. You know, in what was the last one called again?
Lie of the Land.
Lie of the Land. In Lie of the Land, we had that fake regeneration. That's
But why?
on it
but-
too much.
Why would he care if he regenerates? He regenerated, what, millions of time into the same form. So if he's going to
No, that
regenerate...
was a
Yeah,
clone.
but they're
That
playing
was
on
a
it too
clone.
much.
Oh, my God.
Playing on it
That was a clone in the
Yeah,
dial?
some of them were clones. Yep.
Those are clones.
Oh, sorry,
Clones?
sorry, Aled, but let me ask this question. I mean, unless Moffat's trying to make fun of the cliffhanger on purpose, unless it's like the in-joke of the in-joke, you know, like they did with the Batman series from the 1940s and the 1960s.
I don't think
That
this
it's an
series is
in-joke.
like that.
Well, no, but I mean, he's doing it with the next time and, you know, all that, the previews, the trailers, you know, he's sort of paying homage to the cliffhanger and all that, you know.
Yeah, but they keep teasing this regeneration. They've been doing it for the last so many months. The
Yeah, no,
series have been on, and it's like,
that's not original.
just
No.
get on with it. At
Well,
this
well,
time.
that regeneration scene at the beginning is supposed to be like within a future episode.
I don't care.
The teasing it for an upcoming episode, which will probably be
Okay, but
I don't care. They keep teasing this regeneration. They keep on doing it.
yeah.
They've
See,
been doing it
Brian.
since the series began.
Yeah,
It's
see,
gonna be within a Christmas special. Don't
okay,
worry.
but Brian, the problem is, like the other people have said in the cast, if you keep teasing it too many times, it loses the value. It loses the novelty.
Exactly, and I worry when it does come the time of Peter Capaldi's regenerating, I'm just going to be there going, "Oh, boring."
Oh, boring.
Yeah, exactly, because you've done it too many times. You can
Aled,
pull
Alan,
the same trick so many
I'm
times.
really glad that you've liked that throughout the season, all those teasers. Thank God you gave it a 10, you know? I'm so glad that you loved that part of it.
Well, he loves it.
Isn't it great how he loves that and gave it a 10?
What did I give a 10?
All the regeneration clips. I know you loved it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The only regeneration wasn't really that great within New Who was Matt Smith's.
No, but I'm not on about all that. I'm on about this series. How many times they've shown it?
Saying
They
now,
teased it.
Well, I mean, again, that's the other issue with TV and science fiction is that there's only so many new stories and so many new angles you can do. So, I mean, hopefully Chip now comes up with something newer because it is getting to the point where he's repeating. And it's
Anyway, let's go into more positive territory. Let's go into favorite moments.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's go into favorite moments. Got any favorite moments?
Susan wanted to say something.
Just
Yep.
fine. It's just
Oh, okay.
ask Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, what do you think of that?
What favorite moments or what?
No. About the teasers and all that other stuff that we just met. Susan wants to know what you think of it.
I avoid watching them, but the teasers that they've actually shown in the trailers have been a bit of disappointment because yes, they do. They give too much information away, and that's one of the reasons that early Who was so popular because their cliffhangers were real cliffhangers, and you did not know what was going to happen. With these, sadly, since Mr. Moffat took over, you get too much information, so you basically can extrapolate that information into what's going to happen in the next story.
All right. Thanks, Beef Dan.
And let's go into favorite moments. Favorite moments, favorite scenes, favorite characters. Let's go to Susie since she's unmuted.
I
I caught you off guard then, didn't I?
Yeah, no, there was something that I wanted to say and bring up, and it flew out of my head a few minutes ago, and I was trying to remember
I
what it
thought I
was.
saw something go past the screen.
Yeah, that was it, the bouncing ball. Favorite moments.
I can come back to you if you want.
You know, yeah, I guess I'll think of something to say later. But to be honest, I rewatched the series a second time. I mean, the show, this particular episode, a second time today, and because I wanted to see it again to see if I had any more of a reaction to it, and I did the second time. But yeah, I don't really have much to say right now. I was ambivalent, and that really does say a lot because I'm rarely ambivalent about anything. I'm never passionate about a thing, but But it's even Jeffrey's laughing. Okay, go on to somebody else. I'll think of something.
We'll go to Hull. You can get a refund, by the way.
Can I? Good.
You can get a refund. You know, just bring the train line up.
Right, what I want to say first is I totally agree with what everybody said. The spoilers.
Lee. Have you been drinking?
No.
Okay. Carry on.
Tea. And yeah, so the spoilers do actually take away from the excitement of the cliffhangers, and really they should stop all that now. And I agree with what Susan said earlier, that the genesis of the Cybermen has been done with spare parts, and I agree this is not Mondas. So we can all, say that it's all this cybernetic thing is also happening on Mondas as well. Because if you remember rightly, on the 10th planet, it was Mondas, not a spaceship, what appeared. But maybe that's coming up in the Christmas episode. So, because of the beginning of this episode, where he falls down in the snow. But we won't go there for that one.
You got to let it go.
What, you're saying that he's going to regenerate on Mondas?
No.
No,
Antarctica, where the first Doctor is with the Cybermen. Oh, I've ever given it away?
Oh, I thought it was on Mondas that he was regeneration at the beginning.
It doesn't say Mondas, does it? He just comes out the door and he goes into the snow.
What are you talking about? Mondas was a snowy planet within the 10th planet.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, there was on Earth.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Mondas was not an ice world or a snowy planet. Thinking about the Tomb of the Cybermen, but that was also in a different after Mondas was been destroyed. So Antarctica.
The 10th planet took part on Earth.
In Antarctica.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Tomb of the Cybermen was a different Doctor anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, Patrick Troughton, second Doctor.
I always thought that. I always thought like Mondas was like a snowy planet. I thought I remember like snow coming down within 10th planet.
No, you're right. I mean, it would be as far as Earth is also snowy at times in places, but you're confusing it with the other cyber episode. Sorry, Lee.
You need to Google Antarctica.
Yeah, you saw Earth snow.
Yeah, Earth snow. Yeah.
Moving on.
Think of dandruff.
Favorite bit. I mean, the original design of the Cybermen. They've sort of stuck to the original design, and I'm good they've done that. And the voices, Nicholas Briggs with the voices is brilliant. But one of my favourite scenes is Bill, where she's wandering around the hospital on her own with her, into this little ward where they're all sat in chairs, and you hear the pain. That is just so eerie, and it's so well done. Doctor Who should be more like that. It has to be a bit more scarier, in my opinion, because that's what Doctor Who used to do so well. It used to scare the living daylights out of you.
Okay.
Did you hide behind the sofa when you were little, did you, Lee?
Cushion, sofa. Yeah, it's true. It's true, it did happen. Ask Beef Dad, he must have tell you the same.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, guys, even though it was a good scene, it sort of reminded me again of Danny Pink with the "Don't cremate me" thing. So that, it's...
But he wasn't in an hospital ward. He wasn't in an hospital ward. And
no, I understand that. But...
I loved it when she went in and she just turned the volume off. The nurse. I don't know. Was there a name given to her? I don't know. She was just... Was there a name?
No, there wasn't. There was just nurse.
And she just turned the dial for the volume to be off. I thought that was...
that was awful.
But it's so well done, and that's how these stories should be done.
What was the other one saying? Kill me or something?
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah. So, favourite moments, Brian. Brian, what were you...
Oh, wait a minute. I remember. Yeah. I do remember what I have to say. Can I say it? Do you mind, Brian? Okay. Bill Potts gets the award, the tie, for worst thing to ever happen to a companion, in my opinion. She ties with Amy, who all of a sudden woke up in this tube having a baby in the middle of nowhere by herself. As a woman, that's the most horrifying thing that I could possibly imagine, is to all of a sudden be having a baby in the middle of nowhere. It was terrifying for me. And Bill Potts has just gone through an equally terrifying thing. And there's just no coming back from that. I mean, this poor girl has been through the mill. And I just, I wish that they wouldn't be so hard on their companions. I mean, it's just...
Maybe I think Adric pips them all.
Well, but Adric wasn't tortured. Adric died, but he wasn't tortured.
Well,
What?
yeah, but he was...
It was quick. Yeah, well, I'd rather be gone quick than be turned into a Cyberman or be stuck having a baby in a tube.
Just don't go on this cast, whatever you do, because we'll probably have to fill out forms or something. I don't know. We'll have to be investigated.
So anyway, that was my... that was... It, even if you consider it from a human perspective, especially with what Lee said about how they weren't helping their pain levels, they were just turning up the volume so people didn't have to hear it. I mean, horrible. Horrifying.
Well, I think actually Donna had a worse fate.
At least she wasn't in pain. She didn't
but
know.
She had her memory wiped.
I know, and it's horrible. But she wasn't tortured. She doesn't know. She's not conscious of it. I'd rather have that than be conscious of pain like that. I'm sorry. But that's just my own level of torture. So, no, you're right. Donna, it sucked. What happened with Donna sucked too. God, I got this classes thing going on. All right, that was what I really wanted to say.
And let's go back to Brian with favourite moments. If he has
Sorry,
any.
Brian.
Do you have any favourite moments, Brian, or do you just like it all?
Who, me?
Yeah. How many Brian's there? Lift your hand up if your name is Brian.
Oh, okay.
Susan's
All right.
Okay, we've got a few Brians. We're going to go to Brian, the one... yes, let's go to him.
What? Are you guys saying that you want a clone of me?
No. No, please, to God. The Brian race. It's like the master race.
Okay.
Can you imagine it? We're all suddenly going to go... We're going to turn into Brian's. Special effects. Susan, put the special effects in. You're editing this. Put the special effects in. Go on.
I do have favorite moments within the episode. My first favorite moment I could think of is the first scene of Capaldi coming out of the TARDIS and starting to regenerate. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. My second favorite moment was bringing back the Mondosity Cybermen.
Mm-hmm.
The Mondosity Cybermen are just a classic part of Doctor Who and everything, and I'm glad that they brought them back. And I even got, which is another cool thing about the Mondosity Cybermen, they got the voice, the actual voice, how they used to sound with the Mondosity Cybermen. I thought that was pretty neat as well. And then my third and final favorite scene is seeing my favorite master back.
Who's that?
Oh, I believe you know it, which is John.
Oh, did Anthony Amy come back?
John Sim, my favorite master. John Sim is
not Eric Robinson.
No, John Sim is my favorite master, and I'm glad that he came back. The 4 drums, the 4 master is back. Yeah.
And let's go over to Kevin for favourite moments. Yep, you, Kevin. Yep. There's only one Kevin, isn't there, this time? We got like 4 or 5 Brians, but one Kevin.
Well, unfortunately, there's one Kevin. Yes. Well, my favorite moments were with the hospital, with Razor and Bill talking. And yeah, I didn't know that it was a master in front of us the whole time. It really was like, wow. But then I watched it the second time, and then I was like, oh yeah, you could see it in the eyes. So, and I love the end scene with the Master and Bill and the Doctor. You know, like I know what I call it. I call it Genesis, specifically the Genesis of the Cybermen. And then a tear comes out of the Cybermen's eye, like the new ones.
Yeah, because in that scene where they showed Bill as a Cyberman, they then showed her face behind the mask. So is her face still there, intact? Because you've got to remember, this isn't like the new Cybermen literally are robots, but the Mondasian Cybermen are more human.
Spare parts.
They're more human, aren't they?
Mm.
So is she still under the, what is actually under her sock face?
They'll have replaced things, but that just pointing out the tear down the faceplate, the eye, has been done before in New Who.
Hartman, yeah.
Yeah, so repeating it again.
Doomsday, yeah. And she was on the stairs.
I just want to point out that this isn't the first companion that I thought that would become like a Cyberman. I thought, during that mentioned Doomsday, I thought Rose was going to become a Cyberman back then.
Not so lucky, are we?
Well, Jackie did. People are forgetting that Jackie became a Cyberman.
That wasn't really Jackie, though. That was an alternate version.
No, of course it was Jackie. No, it was Jackie.
But it was an alternate version of
It doesn't matter.
Jackie.
It doesn't matter. It was still Jackie. That was still Jackie in that world. That was still Jackie. It was still Jackie Tyler in that world. Doesn't matter what version it was. It was still Jackie Tyler.
What I meant was, it's not like the Jackie Tyler that we knew throughout the course of that series.
Well, no, it was. She still had the same personality of her and everything like that. Anyway, let's go back to Kevin. Do you have any more favourite moments, Kevin?
The beginning scene, that was just awesome. Okay, the no is like a little bit cringe, but we all know that Doctor Who has some moments of that. Also with Clara. And that the Master, I always said that the Master revealed himself. Yeah, that was very cool. So yeah, that's one of my favorite moments. And that the Doctor and the Bill got shot.
Yeah.
Big hole through her chest.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep, and let's go to Beef Dad if he has any favourite moments, particular favourite moments, or characters even. Stand out.
The moment where Bill got shot was brilliant. But the thing was, they had her standing there for far too long because it was beginning to look like something out of Death Becomes Her. And it was very well done. It was very effective. But as I say, it was they held her up for too long. The nurse turning off the patients was pretty damn evil. Brilliantly done by Alison Linnett. She really was so cold and emotionless. Everything that the Mondasian Cybermen eventually became, because the emotions were taken away from them. In fact, I decided after I'd seen this to watch The 10th Planet. And I think Nicholas Briggs did a pretty good job being on his own. Didn't quite get it as sing-songy as the originals, but good. Peter Capaldi's face when Pearl got shot, I mean, the expression on his face was just incredible. That was just absolutely incredible. As I say, I loved Missy's scatterbrain bit. I am Doctor Who. which basically was there to annoy the geek fans, because he's not Doctor Who, he is the Doctor. But she explained that later. But yeah, it was quite funny. But yeah, the moments, it's almost as though they decided, right, we've got to have a moment there, we've got to have a moment there, we've got to have a moment there. It looks as though it had all been planned. As I said before, yeah, the story, fortunately, was not given away too much by the things that we were shown. It just showed you who was going to be in it. It didn't show you the story. There probably have been stories on the internet. It's probably been leaked onto the internet, but I always has it, how everybody's nodding. I always make absolutely sure that I don't read them. I get very about that. So I would rather see it for myself. Yeah, that's about it for that.
I have to just say, just thinking about it now, is the lifts as well. If you noticed at the beginning when the lifts are coming up, the lift starts off fast and then goes slower. That's because of the time thing, isn't it? Yeah, so I thought that was quite a neat, just a little bit of...
so how long was the Doctor in the lift then?
I would have been in there ages.
Well, if Bill was down at the bottom of the ship for 10 years, God, well,
that's a long time to be in the lift, isn't it?
Especially if you watch the toilet.
Yeah.
How do you know it was 10 years?
That's what John Sims said. He did an interview and he said that his character, Razor, whatever his name was with Bill for 10 years.
I didn't see that, so because
yeah, he did it behind the scenes, interview sort of thing.
Because I was gonna say I didn't think that they said within the episode 10 years.
No, I don't think they did, but that's what he said.
But
he must know because he filmed the episode.
Yeah,
he had the script.
You've got to realise as well, because the Doctor sort of explained it with all the generations of the first crewmen, what went down to the other side of the ship. They've all the relations and all these people just appeared from now. It's taken years and years.
But this was all planned by the Master for Bill to go there and the Doctor to be there. Because me and my brother were talking about it. The Master's got this all planned. We think the Master's stuck there. The Master is stuck on that ship, and the only way to get off the ship is to get the Doctor to come to him. And he knew Bill and that would be there. He knew Bill and that would turn up. He knew the Doctor's companion would turn up. Why would he have a camera on the TARDIS? The whole big ship like that. This is planned. He knows everything that's going on.
And why doesn't Missy remember being there?
Well, probably Missy doesn't remember because she has her mind wiped. Well, not she has her mind wiped, but John Sim has his mind wiped, I would imagine. Anyway, let's go over to favourite moments with Alex and Susan, who I don't think have said their favourite moments yet.
Okay, my favorite moment was the death becomes her, hole in her chest, turning into a when they fixed her with the cyber chest unit and it made her gave her that robotic squareness in her front and then how properly eerie it was to see her as a Cyberman, and then how incredibly sad it was to see all the people in the infirmary being converted slowly. I mean, at least the cyber conversion in later cyber technology things is rather quick. I mean, you can do it with a cybermite, you can do it with a cybermat, you can do it with just part of a Cyberman walking around by itself. You know, so it's that's anyway, that's my bit.
Yeah, I can't think of too many favorite moments. I mean, there's a lot of I think Beef Dad said it, that there's sort of a moment here and a moment there. I mean, it was funny that the Missy Master sort of took over the Doctor Who role, but again, we saw that again in a previous seasons, series, and we've seen it before, Doctor Who. It's an old joke. And it was a little bit funny of the comic relief and the companion. But again, if you're sort of a fan of the show and you're sort of a fan of fiction at all, you know that it is sort of an in-joke of an in-joke to the audience. The ship looked very good. The music was too heavy, I think. They did have the proper atmosphere. The John Sim was good as both the caretaker and the master. And Missy was good too, even though I'm not a big fan of her character. And of course, they probably turned Bill into a Cyberman for whatever reason. And that's to make the fans and the Facebook, you know, go crazy and all that. But it wasn't bad. It just reminded me too much of Danny Pink's time, that's all.
I noticed Kevin just called us all a pizza. Thank you, Kevin. And so we talk about next week. What do we think is going to happen? Are we looking forward to it? Do we think it's going to live up to this episode, or is it going to be better or worse even? What do we think? What are our hopes?
I hope so. That it's going to be a.
No, it's got the Iron Man Cybermen in it. No,
and the Mondasian Cybermen fly in the next episode.
It has all the Cybermen. It has the David Tennant Cyberman. And
it only has 3 Cybermen.
Yeah.
Iron Man, the David Tennant ones, and the Mondasian Cybermen. It doesn't have, you know, the 80s ones. It doesn't have the Earth Shock.
Well, I didn't mean all of them. What I meant was the Mondasian, David Tennant, and the Iron Man.
Oh, you're only counting New Who. Oh, it's all one show, Brian.
Yeah, that's.
I am not. No, I'm not.
So you're looking forward to next week here, Brian?
Oh, yeah. John Sims Master's back. Yeah.
This podcast is rated PG-13. So.
John Sims Master is so overrated. I don't like.
What the hell are you talking about?
My opinion.
That's true.
John Sims.
And there's a lot of people out there what don't like him as the Master.
Yeah.
I don't like him as a Master.
John Sims Master is so good. He's like good right next to Delgado.
Anyway.
Can you kick him out, Ali? Because
Well, he's entitled to his opinion.
It's only you that can kick him out. You're the host.
Don't you
Oh,
dare.
yeah.
You're the host of the actual.
Don't you dare.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they resolve the Bill dilemma. It'd be interesting to see if the Doctor regenerates. Maybe they'll leave that toward the end.
But what is? Oh no, go on, Alex. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how Sim and what's her name?
Missy.
Sim and Gomez are defeated as the Master duo, so to speak.
Or if she joins the Doctor and defeats him.
Right. Last minute, she says, "Okay, I'll help you," because we've.
Well, the last time we saw John Sim, you've got to remember, he turned good.
Well,
Right.
He got pissed off and killed off and got rid of
He sacrificed himself for the Doctor.
Well,
there was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, he became an ally of the Doctor because he hated Rassilon and the other Time Lords.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
But in the next time trailer last night, he said he would never stand with the Doctor, but he
exactly,
did.
And he did. So it contradicts that. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but
The thing about it is they talk about him regenerating at the end. Everybody's talking about him regenerating at the end of this, but isn't he supposed to be doing the Christmas special?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
And
don't
somehow,
going to be
I think they're supposed to be, Bill's supposed to be moving on too, so somehow she survives. When I first saw, I know it's one thing I forgot to say too. When I first saw Bill get shot, all I could think of myself was, is Doctor Who turning into Game of Thrones? Are we killing off people now? Boom! Which actually wouldn't be such a bad thing. Because in real life, people do get shot. I mean, it always amazes me in stories how the heroes come up unscathed after, machine gun fire and all that stuff. So it was shocking because you expected the Doctor to get that gun out of the guy's hand, because that's what the Doctor always does. So the fact that he shot her was pretty incredible.
But
also
Yeah,
the fact that she actually was turned into a Mondasian Cyberman, I really did think the Doctor was going to get there, because he always does.
But
So,
I do agree with Beef
interesting.
that scene where she does get shot does last too long. She's just standing there. Isn't
It does.
She?
It does.
I do agree on that.
It does.
And,
But the fact she was shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was
And,
good. No, it was good.
And according to Moffat last night in the Q&A thing, the live Q&A session he did, that is it for Bill.
No, it's not. No,
No,
he'll
he
bring
was
Bill
joking.
back. He'll bring Bill back.
That is it. That is it for Bill. She's a Cyberman, and that's it.
Yeah, but she hasn't. Pearl Mackie hasn't said she's leaving.
And she hasn't said she's staying.
And she did a radio show yesterday with Graham Norton. You would have thought that would have been the perfect time to say.
Well,
No,
maybe it is turning into Game of Thrones, and so we really don't know. Actually, that would be good.
Well, does
I
anybody
would-
know?
There somewhere.
Does anybody
Again,
know?
Dad, we didn't quite get it. Say it again.
So there may be a red priest in it somewhere.
There is the Witches of Khan.
Does anybody know when does Johnson's Master take place? Like, where does his timeline take place within this episode?
Well, it's after he's become Prime Minister, because he mentions it.
Okay.
Right.
Probably
Not
after
to-
at this time.
We don't have time to discuss the entire timeline of the Master.
No, it'd be if
I
you-
really don't want to, because I mean, you haven't listened to the Big Finish, and you don't really know who is where in nobody knows who is where in any timeline. So
Yeah, I've got no idea where I am. I agree.
Especially-
And I don't think he knows where he is. It's probably better
Especially-
that way than
especially-
reading from
yeah,
home.
especially big-
Don't tell
especially
him
with-
whatever you do.
Oh, yeah. especially with Big Finish, that they've got another Master in Big Finish.
Well, I was just wondering, like, whether it would take place after the end of time or after, like, Utopia or something.
I personally thought it was taking place after the end of time.
don't know that because he did end up back on Gallifrey.
Right. But yes, and you're right, we don't know. That was just what in my brain I thought was happening. But we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Then maybe we're going to see the regeneration of the Master.
Yeah.
What you've got to remember is he was killed in the first trilogy, and he was brought back at the end of time.
Yes, he was killed. Remember? Yes, because his wife brought.
Right.
Was it his wife who brought him back? To life.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Susie
in a
Sampson
way.
with the ring and that, and
Right.
and then he had all that skeleton stuff going on,
Right.
which he doesn't have in this. So maybe this isn't. Maybe this is before that. Yeah,
Wow.
because he
Well,
hasn't got that skeleton stuff going on, has he?
Well, I mean, again, isn't it true in science fiction? You don't explain everything anyway.
It's an alternate reality. Let's put
Right.
it like that. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing the first female incarnation of the Doctor next week, which is definitely going to happen. I'm really trying all over the world.
Well, it's not going to happen next week anyway.
I think it's going to happen. You're going to see
Christmas
a version of the Doctor. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that person comes after Capaldi.
I don't know. Who knows?
Hopefully we're going to see a regeneration of the Master.
It's like the second Doctor meeting the sixth Doctor, shall we say?
Right.
Exactly, the second Doctor meeting the sixth Doctor. Yeah.
Olivia Colman.
Happen, yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
anyway,
no,
let's go to final say and thoughts because otherwise.
Whoa, love the Tumblr, Susan.
I mean, obviously he wants a debate on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. So, well, anyway, go ahead, Aled. Who do you want to call?
Yeah, let's go to you two for final say.
Okay. Like I said, it was a good atmospheric episode, and it was a little scary, but the music was a little overdone. The in-jokes were overdone. The cast is good. Obviously, it's setting up whether we're going to like it or not the second and supposedly final part. Who knows? Maybe the Christmas special will be part 3 or part of part 3 or whatever. You know how Moffat is. Pretty much the acting. It reminded me too much of Dark Water, and I just couldn't enjoy it as much. It was a lot more interesting and suspenseful with Dark Water as opposed to the giving the cliffhangers away, telling too many details of the next story, Moffat repeating himself. I mean, he's a good producer. He's done a lot for Doctor Who, so I can't say no. But hopefully they'll either make it scarier or it'll be more like the 70s and the 80s version where you had more suspense and better cliffhangers.
80s. What?
Oh, I didn't give a score.
Score, yeah.
7.
Okay, I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Good, solid episode. Great stuff. I agree with all of the discussion about the in-jokes. I do like Stephen Moffat and the direction that he's taken it. But I know I'm one of few who does feel that way. And but yeah, it's good. It was a good episode.
Oh no, I'm glad you enjoyed it. People can enjoy whatever they want, you know. And now Susie has given up fighting with her glasses. She should have really gone to Specsavers. But do they have Specsavers where you are, Susie, in America?
I have no idea what that is.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay. I have to give it 2 ratings. If I hadn't known about John Simm's Master coming back, and if I hadn't known about the Mundessian Cybermen, it could have been a 10 out of 10. But because I had so much foreknowledge, everything was basically laid out for me throughout the whole thing. I was, the first time I saw it, I was ambivalent by the end. So for me personally, because of that, I'd say a 5. And that's, I mean, it wasn't, those 2 facts weren't things that I could avoid. I mean, they were everywhere. You know, it's not like I couldn't choose not to look that up because it was in your face, and that was part of the BBC's choice. So, or Doctor Who show's choice. Anyway, so that would be it. If it was, with that happening, it would have been a 5, but without it happening, it could have been a 10. But I'm hoping that next week we'll make up for it, just like I was hoping for that to happen with the Monks episode, and it didn't. We'll see.
But I have to just add on to that as well, is that if they hadn't revealed John Sim so early on in the series, like we've just been waiting for John Sim, haven't we? Really, we just spent weeks and weeks, haven't we, Lee? Because we've been saying it.
Right.
Oh, where's John Sim? Where's John Sim?
Right.
Is he coming in episode? We thought he might appear in episode 6. You know,
Right. Yeah.
We've just been speculating
Right.
when John Sim is going to come. So it's built up so much.
Right.
It was always going to be a bit of a letdown, really.
Well, but it just would have been better as a surprise. I mean, the Alpha Centauri surprise was so great because it was a total shock. It would have been fun. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Who was always well done, and it was acted, you know, fabulously well. And Pearl did a great job in this show.
And let's go to Brian before he wanders off. Go ahead, Brian, for your final say and score.
Oh, it's my turn, is it now?
Yep.
All right. Well, what I thought of this episode, awesome. Like I keep saying, it's probably my favorite episode so far of the series. I absolutely love it. I enjoyed it. It's so good. Because, like I said, John Sim's back. Yay! So I would probably give this episode 11 tortoises. I'm going to give it an extra score.
So that's 2 out of 10. 2. You can't like them all, can you, Brian? Let's go to Germany with Beef Dad. Final say and score.
What I liked about this episode was the Mondays in Cybermen, what's the matter with me? If it prompted me to go back and look at the original one with the Mondasian Cybermen, with a bit of luck, it might get some of the younger Who members like Kevin and the remains of Brian and that to actually go back and look at the original, because what you've got to remember is that the 10th planet that the Mondasian Cybermen appeared in was the first time that a Doctor regenerated. And yes, I know that the 4th episode is animated because it was lost, but Blue Peter actually showed the regeneration scene. And thanks to Blue Peter, we still have that regeneration scene on film. And yeah, it is definitely worth watching. And Peter Capaldi would want you to watch it because it's one of his favourites. And yeah, there were some magical little scenes as we've already covered. So for me, it gets a 9.5 out of 10.
A 9.5. And Daniel's just popped in. Have you seen the episode Doctor Who?
I saw the episode. It was really good. I loved World Enough in Time. I thought it was awesome. I loved how it started with the Doctor on the spaceship. And this is the future, of course. But of course, Moffat, he never gives you a fucking date. That's the problem with Moffat. He never gives you a date. Russell T Davies always gave us a date. He never does, but Moffat never does. He couldn't care less. Anyways, I liked it how it started. We opened up on a spaceship, and we saw Missy, and she's pretending to be Doctor Who, and she actually revealed that the Doctor's real name is Doctor Who. I don't know if that's his real name, but that'd be kind of cool if it was. Anyways, I loved that black hole outside. That was really cool. It reminded me of Star Trek 09, but this black hole was much more detailed. It was really nice. And
what I really like about that black hole, that is the size of all Moffat's plot holes put together.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. And I loved it. I loved it when Bill got shot. I don't like Bill. And then she got sent down to get repaired and stuff, and the whole thing was really, really good. It's just very well done. And at the end she was turned into she's like the first Mondasian Cyberman, so she's like the genesis of the Cybermen, which is, I'm like, this episode is so cool. It's like a prequel to the 10th planet. It's like so cool. Oh yeah, I loved it, and it was just so good.
But remember, this is only part 1, people. Remember, this is actually only part 1.
Yeah. Oh,
What
also,
would you, yeah.
yeah.
No, go on.
I hated it how the Doctor was regenerating in the very beginning. I don't want Capaldi to go. He's my Doctor.
What would you give this episode out of 10? Because we're just wrapping up now.
This
Yeah.
episode, I would give it a 10 out of 10 because I just love it. It's just really good, very well done. The graphics were good. The story was good. Although I don't like it how it shows a hospital. You know, like all these people in a hospital, and they're like, you know, they're like screaming, pain, pain, kill me. And I'm like, oh my God, why do you have to remind us of our own mortality? This was like a kind of a dark episode. I didn't like that.
You know that hospital actually is really interesting because that hospital is the NHS in 5 years' time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we've got another 5 years of Tory government. Anyway, let's go on to Kevin.
Also, 1 second.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I loved the Master reveal. I thought John Sim was awesome. I can't wait to find out where in the timeline this John Sim is. You know, like, is he like... Because I originally thought this was a future John Sim Master after Missy. But apparently this is probably after the end of time.
What is it with all these people just wondering about timelines? I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
It's curiosity, Lee. Everybody's curious.
Yeah, that's what killed the cat. There you go. Curiosity killed the cat.
Over to Kevin.
Over to Kevin.
Language, Lee, and they talk about me not cursing.
We can have him banned, don't worry. He'll be reprimanded. I'll get the whip out later.
I really love this episode. Overall, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait for next week. So, yeah.
Yep. And let's go over to Lee. Final say and score.
I do apologise for my colourful language.
Swearing under his breath.
You're from Hull. That's okay.
Yes, I love the eeriness of it. I'm not going to call them the Mondasian Cybermen. They're the original Cybermen because that's what they are. And so it's not the genesis of the Mondasian Cybermen because Bill Potts is not Mondasian.
That's a good point. Yeah, she is not a Mondasian Cyberman because she's not from Mondas.
Correct,
Yeah, exactly. I've never thought of that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I say it is well acted. It's the scenery, the effects, brilliant. It's the eeriness, the scariness of it. The hospital scenes are just wonderful. It's just a few niggles, you know, with Moffat reusing ideas and stuff like that. So you sit there watching it, you think, yeah, I've seen all this before. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Yeah, and now I think everybody else has had their say. So now for my final say, and I'm with Susie on this. If it all hadn't been revealed previously, this episode would have been amazing. Imagine going into this, not knowing the Mondasian Cybermen were going to be there, not knowing John Sim was going to be in it. I mean, it would have been a phenomenal episode. But the reused ideas, the fact that we knew everything, it did take it away. And it was the BBC. I can understand with the Cybermen that the BBC couldn't hide them. They were on the streets. They were filming on Cardiff Bay. I mean, I know where those streets are. I know where that is. I've walked down that street. You know,
he's walked them streets. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you still owe me that tenner. I can't remember what I was going to say now. But they couldn't hide it, could they? They couldn't hide it because you got Cybermen walking down the streets. People are going to see, but nobody knew that guy was John Sim. they could have kept Johnson a secret, couldn't they, really? Seriously, they could have, when you think about it, because he was in so much prosthetics with a fake mask on. They could have got it away with that. Could have been any actor. It could have just been if you saw him on the street. In fact, there was filmings of him. You wouldn't know who he was.
I knew it was
So
him.
they could have kept it. They could have kept John Sim a secret.
So score it, and then we'll talk about that.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it. If I'd watched it without knowing anything about it, I think this would have been a 10, pretty much, because it would have been a phenomenal reveal. It really would have. Two massive reveals of the Mondasian Cybermen and John Sim. But the fact that it is ruined by knowing too much. And it's not that I searched for stuff. It's that the BBC publicly released that stuff. With the trailer at the end of last week's and the promotional pictures and, scenes from this episode were even in the first trailer we got of Series 10. So I'm going to have to say, yeah, it is 8.5. I'm going to go with Lee. It is 8.5. And what did you want to talk about, Susan?
Well, we're going on a long while. I think we're over an hour now. I was just wondering, what kind of, really, what would that have been even a possibility?
To keep John Sim secret?
Well, to keep the publicity down.
Well, you could have.
They were using the return of the Master to refire interest in the Daily Watch, the day on BBC One.
Yeah, but it hasn't helped because the ratings have fallen through the floor.
Okay, well, sorry, Ella, to interrupt. There is such a thing as the internet, and Amazon also sells it as well. You can buy the whole series or you can buy episodes. So, in a way, the BBC being obsessed about ratings is a little weird because they're using kind of an old construct. They probably should be more internet friendly. So, and remember too, Amazon and other places sell the DVDs, which have been divided into two parts. So it also means you're going to be spending $40 to $50 for maybe 5 or 6 episodes per disc, and you're going to have to buy it twice because it's not all in one.
You mean there are people out there who already own all of this series?
Yes, if you get it through Amazon. I don't mean for the commercial. I'm sorry, but.
No, you can't own the whole series now because the final episode hasn't been revealed.
Right. But I'm saying that you can't buy it on DVD yet as a whole series.
Oh, okay.
Which will be later on in the year, I understand.
You can buy part 1, can't you?
Yes, but your point is well taken that television ratings in general, they really have to evolve to take in people who watch things on Hulu, on the stations' channels themselves, because I don't even own a television.
Right. Well, the other, guys, the other issue too is, this is 2017, not 1978. So can you even guarantee 6 to 12 million people watching on any given day? I think most people have busier things that they want to do.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people here watch on iPlayer.
Right.
Where the BBC don't factor
I'm tired.
To the ratings.
I'm very tired of sitting up. So if you're going to talk for an hour, I'm getting comfortable. Yeah. All right.
No, and as I said, I just meant to bring that up as a point to, as to the decades and the internet and things like that. It's not the same as before where you had to hope you had a VCR to record it.
Right.
Or a DVR to record it, which costs a lot of money for DVR, digital video recorder service.
It's like my brother didn't watch it live. He watched it on BBC iPlayer.
Right.
About 10 o'clock when he got home because he was out helping a friend move house. So he didn't get back till 10 o'clock.
I watched you guys in America last night.
Anyways, shall we shut this one down?
Yeah, let's shut this one down. Let's wrap up now. So
should we do it? We're all turning into Brian to close off.
No,
I'm just gonna go and get me suspenders.
Yeah, but you're going to get your suspenders.
The doctor race.
That's the
doctor race. Yeah.
The doctor race. The Brian race.
The Brian race, yeah. God help us. We will. Humanity really would be doomed. Seriously, Susie would be wiped out in 10 days.
Yeah, I know, totally.
We'd be wiped out in 10 days.
Yep. If not before. Poor Brian.
It would be cool.
Do you remember
that would be very cool, Brian.
Yeah, but do you remember the Simpsons episode where Homer clones himself? It would be like that, where we're all walking off cliffs.
Everybody will be me.
Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me. I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell us below what you thought about this episode of Doctor Who. And are you looking forward to next week? Tell us anything. Tell us what you had for dinner, what you had for breakfast this morning. If you've just woken up, tell us below if you've had a bacon sandwich or something. I don't know what you have. But anyway, let's leave it there. Look after yourself. Take care. Hit that subscribe button. And as ever, we will see you next time. Quick, shake your heads, everybody. We're all turning into Brian.